Hello learners, my name is Ashish Jain. I am an assistant professor at the Department of Computer Applications at the Bhopal School of Social Sciences. I welcome you in this module of Database Management System. The course title is RDBMS and Oracle. This is the first module of this course. In this module, we will be covering these topics. We would start with the introduction to the topic. We would see the concepts of data and information. We will see what is a database and what is the management of a database. We will see database management system, and finally we will discuss the functions and characteristics of DBMS. So let's begin this module. There are two terms, data and information, which you may came across in your real life. Let us understand what is data and what is information. The term data refers to raw facts and figures about any real life entities that we need to manage and store, right? For example, we have the values A20, B30. So these are just four values which doesn't convey any message to the users. Now what if I analyze and I organize this data into tabular format and represent it like this: A is equal to 20, B 30. So from this we can infer the information, or we can derive that information that the value of A is 20, the value of B is 30, or the age of A is 20 or the age of B is 30. Now we can understand the difference between data and information is that the processed data is called information. Previously we just have four values but doesn't convey any message, but now after organization or proper processing we can have some kind of inference or some kind of information out of that data. That data is known as information, right? Now what is the use of information? Once we have the information, we gain knowledge from that information, and once we have knowledge, we will use this knowledge to perform some actions. So we have four different entities. We have data, we have information, we have knowledge, and finally if we have knowledge, it is considered that we have wisdom. That means we can perform actions using that knowledge. So here we come to definition of data and information. Let us understand the definitions. Data is defined as isolated, unorganized, raw facts or figures about a person, place or a thing from which useful information is derived. Let us understand these concepts. Data is isolated, that means there is no interaction between the elements of data. It is unorganized, it is not in a particular sequence, so it is unorganized. It is raw facts or figures, just whatever values we recorded, we have stored it. This is called data. About a person, place or a thing. So it can be a data about a person, it can be data about a place, or it can be data about any other real life thing or an object. Now we see data can be something simple and seamlessly random and useless until it is processed. So for understanding the value of data, we need to process the data properly. Now let us understand what is information. Information is defined as collection of organized, corrected and validated data. That means we first organize what we have collected, we correct if some corrections are to be made, and we validate the source of the data so that whatever information we are getting after analysis of that data, we can rely upon that information. It is the processed data which has a meaning and can be used for getting the knowledge. Information comprises of data which is processed, organized, structured or presented in a given context so as to make it useful. The context of a data is very important. For example, if you are collecting data for analysis, there should be a proper motive of collecting the data. For example, I want to analyze the rainfall pattern. So my context is to analyze the rainfall pattern. So context is very important while collecting data and processing that data to get the information. So we have data which leads to information. Information leads to knowledge, and once we have a knowledge, we can say that we have wisdom to perform the right action. Let us understand the relation between data, information and knowledge. So we have an example. We simply have a data value of 100. It doesn't convey any message or a meaning. Now if I write it as 100 miles, then I can draw some kind of meaning out of this data or value, that this is a data representing distance. Now knowledge says that 100 miles is quite a far distance because 100 miles is a big amount of distance. Now, wisdom says that it is very difficult to walk 100 miles, but we can take any means of transport to cover this distance. So, from a simple data which doesn't have any meaning, we can attain wisdom by proper processing the data. We use database management systems to do this kind of processing. Let us understand the difference between data and information. Data is derived from a Latin word datum, and information is derived from the word informare. Data is a raw fact or figure, but information is processed data. Data may or may not be meaningful. It is not guaranteed that you will always have a value or have meaning to a data, but information is always meaningful. It is that processed data which you can use for any other work. That means it should have a proper meaning. Next, input to any system may be treated as data. Whatever values we are supplying to any system comes under data. Output after processing is called information. So whenever we process the data and give the output back to the users, that value is known as information. The understanding is difficult since data may or may not be having meaning, so it is very difficult to understand data. But understanding information is easy as it is organized form of data. Next, data may not be in order, so it is not necessary that the data is in order. But in information should be in order. You process and you represent the information so that it can be readily accepted. For example, survey data. You just collect information, you just collect the details from various responders. This is called survey data. Once you analyze the survey data, you come up with some conclusions, for example, and you represent that conclusion in the form of a report. For example, a census report, right? So it's a information. It is constructed based upon some kind of survey or processing of the data collected. Next, we come to the concept of data again. Data can be viewed in two terms, first in physical and second the logical. The physical concept of data refers to the way we organize the data or store the data physically for further reference and use. For example, filing cabinets, disks, tapes, drives, etc. The characteristics of these kind of storage media are: first important characteristic is storage, that is space for the storage. Maximum data storage without the wastage of space should be our aim. Data redundancy. Redundancy means repetition of same amount of information or repetition of data. So the possibility of duplication of data is reduced by using data redundancy control mechanisms. Data volatility. The rate of addition and deletion of data records comes under data volatility. How volatile our data to changes. Then throughput. It is the measure of transactions processed per unit time. How many transactions you can perform in a unit amount of time, it is known as throughput of a DBMS system, or for that matter, a storage media. Now the logical concept of data. It refers to the means by which data is stored. So how you actually store the data comes under logical control. It doesn't mean the physical storage of data. It is just a representation of the data so that users can properly understand it. So it deals with data storage and retrieval from the physical store. It may be viewed in terms of entities, attributes and relationships. These are three important factors: entity, attributes and relationships. An entity is a real world object. That means it has an existence in the real world. For example, I need to store the data of a student. So student is a real world entity for me. But I don't consider student as a whole. I understand students on the basis of certain factors or certain properties like student enrollment number, student name, class, father's name, percentage and very many details, right? So this student is an entity. Now what all properties are associated with an entity which help us to identify or distinguish between two different records of the same type is known as the attributes. So all the other properties like enrollment number, name, class, etc. are called attributes. Now there has to be some kind of relationship among the records or various types of entities so that we can properly understand their meaning. So relationship helps to connect these various entities together for the purpose of information sharing, and for the purpose of analysis of data. Now let us understand the need and the quality of information. Following are the needs of information. First, knowledge. Information increases knowledge. The more informed you are, it is considered that you have knowledge. You are a better knowledgeable person. So knowledge is increased by the use of information. Decision making. Information is very important aid in decision making. The more informed, the more information you have, you can take a better decision. Next point, the increment of efficiency. Information helps in giving different alternatives, thereby increasing the efficiency. Once you have information to decide and to choose the right data, then it gives you option to choose between different alternatives available, right? So it increments your efficiency. Following are the qualities of information. The first quality is validity. That means information should be suitable to understand and to solve. We can validate its source. Brevity. Brevity is conciseness. How better in a short and sweet manner you can represent data or you can convey any message is the property of brevity. The required data is to be compiled to provide the required information. All the data compiles to a single understandable form that is called a short data, or it is called information, summarized data. Then accuracy. Given information should be accurate so that you can trust on the result and use the results of an analysis for your purpose. Then we come to database. A database is a collection of data, that is raw data, and it is used to store, manipulate and retrieve data when required. So it is basically a collection of raw data. At one place we call it as database. Database is an organized collection of related information that has very specific meaning and follows certain rules. So in a database we collect the data which is related to each other. That means it is feasible for a company to maintain a data for its use, not for the other company's use, right? So database is an organized collection that provide collection of related information on the basis of certain rules and certain specific meaning. What are the rules followed by database? A database should show simultaneous change with the change in the real world. That means our data needs to be constantly updated. Database is logically connected data collection with some inherent meaning. So there should be logical connections among the data or the values stored in a database. A random collection of data is never a database. So there has to be proper connection or relation among the values stored in a database. Database is created and maintained by some intended group of users for a specific task. So to conduct some kind of specific task, we collect data. For this we require the services of a specialized set of users. These are called database administrators who control the whole process, right? Now we define database systems. A system is an entity which has some input from the user, process that information and finally gives the output, right? So database system is an integrated collection of related files along with the details of interpretation of data contained therein. That means we store the data in a database that is integrated together to provide the desired information to the users when requested. Now we come to database management, actual management of data. Database management involves defining of two things. First, the definition of data, that is defining the structure for the database. Second, the data manipulation, that means providing the provisions for processing of information in a database. So database management involves two concepts, data definition and manipulation, right? So in definition, we involve the structure for database to store the data, and in manipulation, we maintain or facilities for storing, retrieving and modifying the data. The purpose of DBMS is first and foremost to provide a mechanism for organizing, structuring and storing the data. Secondly, it provides a mechanism for accessing data by insulating the application programs from making changes to the structure of data. That means, in a sense, it provides security of data from unauthorized access. This is a brief diagrammatic representation of a DBMS system. A DBMS system acts as an interface between the actual storage, that is the database system, and how to access that system using a computer mechanism by a user. That means there is a hardware as well as software interface. So DBMS is a software, that is, it is a set of programs that facilitates the process of defining, constructing, accessing and manipulating the database for various applications. It consists of a set of interrelated data and also a set of programs to access that data by providing an environment to store and retrieve. That means it acts as an interface between the user and the actual physical representation of data. Now we come to characteristics of DBMS. DBMS has a capacity to store and handle large amounts of data necessary for all user needs. It has a capacity to integrate data files, retrieval and modification of data, and also to store the changes. Database management system combines data to form operational units to minimize the application of data and access to the data. It controls the system by limiting the access of database files and build confidentiality to provide the security of data. It also allows users to add more data and programs to the system for storage and analysis. Database management system store the data files separately so that structural changes to data file do not affect the data. It is very important to maintain data in this manner so that accidental changes in the structure does not affect the actual data. This is called data independence. We will see this term later on in the course. It also allows multiple users to access the database at the same time. That means it facilitates sharing of data. DBMS creates a temporary or a virtual view of required data from database for the different users, so that only desired information can be shown to the users of different types. These are the functions of DBMS: provides ability to update and retrieve data, supports concurrent updates, provides recovery of data, provides data security, ensures the integrity of data. Let us look back what we have covered in this module. We started with the concept of data and information. We have seen the difference between data and information. We have seen the need and the quality of information. We have seen what is a database, what is a database management, what is a database management system, and finally we covered the characteristics and functions of DBMS. I hope this first module on Introduction to Database is beneficial for you. In the next module, we would be covering topics of database management system in a greater details. Till then, happy learning. Thank you.